Hi, this one is special. Where most dashboards show a high level picture of the business, in front of you is a complete analytics system of an Indian D2C e commerce platform, which not only shows what's happening but also drills down into each aspect of the business, shows its challenges, and tells you what business decisions you can take to overcome them. I have made this project based on the data that I have constructed myself, not from any publicly available data. So this data is asymmetric in nature to look like real world transactional data, which then goes into an end-to-end pipeline following the Medallion architecture to make this comprehensive and powerful dashboard that is in front of you. So let's dive deep into how I have generated the data. So this is the process flow of my project where we first generated the data, then we injected dirty data into it based on nulls, duplicates, mixed values. Then it went into the medallion architecture. It had the bronze raw dirty data, and from that it went into the silver data where we cleaned it and validated it. After that, we put it into the PostgreSQL to make business logic SQL, which then went into the Power BI to make this powerful dashboard. Now I will take you through the structure of our project. You can see here are the scripts. Here is the data, the bronze and silver gold data. Now I will take you through how did I exactly generated this data. I used the faker library to make the name and email. Email also has the logic so that it looks like real world. And the customer cities are weighted, that is tier 1 cities gets 7 times higher probability than smaller cities or tier 3 cities. That's how Indian real e-commerce data looks. Okay, and after that, this is the product subcategory, like category, subcategory, brand, and the product names which are generated through AI. Here I used AI. Okay, after that I have generated these products, and these products are like all these tables are no, in a normalized fashion with their primary keys that I'll show you later. In the orders, you can see I have followed a random Poisson distribution where average person put 10 orders in 3 years of time span. The data is of 3 years from 1st January 2023 to 31st of December 2025. This is how the asymmetry I have generated. For orders, there is order items table. So I have made the data so that in the electronics category, especially laptop, television, and phone, so no one can order two television or two laptops together. I mean, they can, but it was pushing order AOV to extreme ranges. That is one AOV of an order is 10,000 and one is 2,50,000, which is not possible for a realistic D2C brand. No one orders 3 lakh worth laptops. So I have made a hard capping where no customers buys two laptops or two TVs in a single order. That's not how humans shop. So these were the challenges that I faced while generating the data. Also, the return reasons, the return table is category wise weighted where the electronics gets most of the bad quality and damage, where clothing gets most color mismatch and size issues. So this is what I have done. This is the asymmetry I was talking about to make this look like real world data. Now this is how I have dirtied the data that I have I have injected null values in the customers orders and ordered items. Okay. And then I have injected duplicates, date formats, outliers, etc. As you can see, 30% of data converted to mixed formats. Okay, some slashes, some month in numeric form, some in text form. Age is set to negative. 2% of order quantities as set to 0. 2% of orders assigned to customer IDs that don't exist, which are known as orphan records. Orphan records are here. Okay, and then we have set product prices. I inflated product prices into 10 times so that it makes the wrong data, which we will later clean using IQR method. Okay, so now let's talk about fixing the bad data. So first, I have removed all the rows from the tables where there is 4 columns or more nulls. Okay, that is around 50% data is null. So I have removed those. So this is what I have done to clean my data. For the null values, I have filled it with unknown. For the duplicate rows, I have dropped the duplicates. For mixed date formats, I have put the date format. And for outliers, I have used the IQR method subcategory wise, not obviously global, obviously subcategory wise, because the price ranges for each product is very different. For a t-shirt, it ranges from 3,000 to say 6,000, and for a TV, it ranges from 15,000 to 1.5 lakhs. So I have used the IQR method. Then I have used the orphan for the orphan records. I have cascaded, deleted all the orders that were wrong, and then for inconsistent casing, I have done the standardization. For invalid values, I have made the proper values, the negative age to the mean of the age. For the zero quantity, then I have derived it from the total divided by price. Then for the wrong data types, I have put it into the proper conversion. Then I have corrected the inconsistency. After that, you can see my SQL. So this is all the SQL work that I have done to construct the views. You can see here we had the here we have in the materialized views. You can see here. I'll zoom this in. You can see here in the materialized views, I have all the views that I have made, and this then I have wrapped in views to take the data in the Power BI. In the Power BI, you can see I have made multiple of measures. So this was not a 3-day project. It took quite a lot of time. So multiple lots and lots of measures I have created to construct this dashboard. Now let me walk you through this dashboard. So this is the executive tab. This is where the people who make big decisions see what is happening in their business. So in the revenue, you can see this is the total revenue that the company has generated. This is the month on month revenue, and this is the month till date revenue. That is from the starting of this month, how much revenue we have made. And this is the current net profit margin that we are running on. And then we have orders. We have made 1,25,000 orders. And in the customers, you can see we have 13,000 customers. This is month on month. This is the active customers. That is 15% of customers are those who came on who signed up but who have never ordered. So we are showing this also. And then there is AOV. This is the average order value. Then this is customer repeat rate. This means the person who have made one order, how many customers have made again. So 99% is coming because firstly this is a synthetic data. So but I have tried my level best to make this asymmetric. Now you can see the return rate, order return rate is sitting at 9.96, which is good. And then we have our magic field parameters. You can see here is the revenue. You can scale it and see how it was very less in 2023 and how it has scaled so high in 2025. So this means we are doing good. So let's first see, are we really doing good? We can see that using profit. Yes, profit is also rising. So that means we are doing really good. If the executive wants to see a specific period, say some big billion day sale or something like that, then I have given a complete slicer so that he can go into one day, 1 month, any period in between to check what's the status on his company. Let's just click over 1 month. Then you can see I have clicked on this is first. I mean this is November of 2025. You can see the revenue has changed, orders has changed, customers, everything has changed. So yeah, this is working perfectly. Okay, let's just see what has been July, 1st of July till now. Let's see. So you can see 3.2 billion we have done. Okay, 58,000 orders we have done. 12,000 customers. So all these values, you can see customer repeat rate has changed now. So that is only 86% customers who came in this period have ordered. Okay, so this is what how beautifully you can see every value. Now let's come on to this section. This is a magic section. Here you can actually see, suppose let's take this state. You can see the revenue coming from Chhattisgarh is only 37 million. Okay, but if I go on to returns, like from which state are we generating the highest returns? You can see Chhattisgarh has the highest return. So this tells us there are multiple cities which has less revenue and high return rate. So either the campaigns there are not working well or the product market fit is bad. Something is happening. This is what I was talking about, that I don't just show what's happening. I'm showing where to exactly look. Again, if you see, the most revenue is coming from Karnataka, okay, and you can see it has so less return rate. So things are working well there. So this is where how you can see everything of your business from an Hawkeye view. Next, we have customer by acquisition channel. So for a healthy business, you can see the problem here is the paid is too high, it's 40%. So for a healthy business, the organic and referral should be really high, but you can see the problems there. So we can take this to the concerning departments and work there. And then you can see the AOV. What's driving this 54,000 AOV? You can see electronics is driving this 54,000 AOV. And if you want to dig deeper, I have written for subcategory. Dig deeper, you can see in the subcategory, laptop is driving 92,000, phone is driving 82,000. Okay. And same for if you want to see for sports and fitness, you can see footwear and rackets and equipments take the AOV mostly, and fitness accessories has so less AOV. Then there is subcategory of clothing. You can see that. Okay. So now from returns problem, where we will dig deeper into the returns section, to where exactly is the real problem, which state has a real problem, and then how customers are getting and how is our company doing. Everything is listed on this executive page. Okay. Now let's go deep into the next tab, which is our products. Now let's talk about what's driving the revenue. Now let's talk about what's driving the revenue and what's quietly hurting it. So you can see electronics take 79% of the revenue, and which is taking about 2.26 billion in profits, and Samsung brand alone has 1.03 billion of profit. So this is heavy concentration in two subcategories. That's a risk a business head needs to see. But the real feature of this tab is these all five parameter options. Here you can see for the orders, you can see phones has the most order, t-shirts has the most order, fitness accessories, and you can see by brand which brand has the highest order. So apparently Zara has the most orders, but Zara has very low revenue. Okay, but it has the most orders. Then so you can see this. Then you can see revenue wise. Okay, which brand? Then you can see net profit margin wise. You can see footwear has the most highest net profit margin. Okay, you can see this. If this is all subcategory wise, if you want to go category and then subcategory, if you want to see in the clothing, I want to see which has the most highest profit margin, then you can see the jackets has that. Okay, and which brand, then you can see Levi's has that. Okay, this is the tree map that shows everything beautifully. If you want to see for say, let's say sports and fitness, okay, you can see the revenue division. You can see here the net profit margin division, which has the decathlon has the highest in the sports and fitness. And if you want to see for supplements only decathlon and muscle blaze has the highest. Okay, so you this is the level of granularity that, or this is the level of detail that I have gone into making this project. A executive can just click these slicers and go into details of category, subcategory, and then find what's revenue, what's the order, what's the net profit margin, how many total quantities that we have shipped for each category. So you can see all of those things. Okay. For the total quantity, you can see t-shirts has the highest quantity. In the electronics, if you want to see who has the highest quantities, then you can see Xiaomi has the highest quantity. Okay. Now let me show you something very interesting. I have put the units in millions in this tree map so that we can see the detailed section. When I click on clothing, let's go into clothing. This is the first one. If I check jackets, Zara is leading with 106 million revenue. While if I see for trousers, you can see Levi's is leading. Okay. And if I go back to say electronics, then if I click on phone, then you can see Samsung is giving us more revenue. And if I click on television, you can see Xiaomi is giving us more revenue. So you can drill down. This is how much of depth a executive or a decision maker can go into my dashboard to see what's driving their business. Now, in the next section, I have top three products per category. So you can see this is for the clothing category. We have jackets and dresses in which we have the brand and the product name. So these are the top revenue generating products divided by like per category. Okay. And then we have out of 84 products, this is the total number of products that we have in on our platform. These are the two products that have very high return rates. So these are essentially products that have higher return rate than their category. So average category return rate is the benchmark, and that is 10%, which is ideal for an Indian D2C brand. So these two are the products. So to make all of this asymmetry, like these two are coming, I had make changes to my data several times. So that is the kind of effort that I put in. So let's go into in the revenue now. So now we will understand about the revenue. Okay. Is the growth real? Where is it happening? When did it accelerate? When did it slow down? All these things, all these insights we'll get from the revenue tab. So first you can see the trend, the revenue, orders, customers, profit. Okay, you can drill it down using the month. Okay, then after that, here we have the month on month change trend. Firstly, you can see that it was nearly flat in 2023, and then it consistently climbed through 2024, and there was a sudden spike. Like here, the it dipped in the first quarter, but then there was a sudden spike explosiveness in 2025, and the best month for the revenue was December 2025. Okay, and this is 869 million is what we did in December 2025. So here we can see seasonality is real and visible. Below is the month on month change trend. How did we do month on month since the inception? You can see on the second month the revenue grew 61%, and then it suddenly spiked 34%, and this is, and for the remaining months the month on month growth was relatively lower at 30%, which is fine, which is expected behavior. But then in you can see February month of 2025, the revenue actually dipped. Okay, and you can compare it. The revenue dipped 4.8%, but the profit dipped 5.2%. So this, if it was, and if this was realistic data, that this is exactly what will show how are we doing month on month. Okay, are we improving the strategies that we are implementing, the campaigns that we are running, the people that we are hiring, the people we have, the output that we are generating, how is the product market fit? All this, the outcome will be shown on the month on month profit change trend. Okay, so you can see the current month or the latest month's revenue month on month is 46.5%. Okay, now, so you can see three completely different analytical views, same area, one button each. You can see totals for absolute numbers. You can see the absolute numbers here. Okay, and this is the year on year revenue comparison. It is fine. Here we have shown how we did in a trend way. How did we grow? Where did we slow down? This is showing year on year comparison on same period last year. How much did we have revenue? How did we grow from that last year? Okay, so for that we have totals. That is the total number for the revenue. Okay, and here we have the month on month growth. See, completely different visual. Here we are completely rising, just like we have shown here. While 2023 was flat, you can see the blue lines are rising so slowly, but the 2025 is rising so fastly. Okay, but here if I go for month on month revenue change, then you see a completely different story. Now here we see the acceleration rate. Okay, so three views, zero page switching. This is the depth at which I have thought about this project. So this is the bookmark navigation. I'll show you some insights from here. You can see in this there was a rapid growth, 155% revenue change of okay, and here it was consistently declining and it dipped to really low in July 2023. Okay, comparing to that, we have done great in 2025. Okay, and but in 2025, the best month-on-month revenue change happened in December. So you can see the difference in accelerations and in the growth story. Okay. Now let's go to the tab that tells about the retention of the customers. Okay. So I have made this tab on customer retention analysis by first order month. So whenever the customer ordered their first order. From that, I have made a cohort, and this is how the cohort retention heat map looks like. Most businesses track how many customers they are acquiring. The smart ones track how many they are keeping. Okay, so this essentially is what this cohort shows. So every row here is when customers first purchased. Okay, every column is months later when they appeared. So you can say by far the green means they a large number of people have returned, red means less number of people have returned. You can see in 2023 the average is around 27%, 26% retention, deep red. While in 2025 there is very high retention. If I see across the fifth month or the third month, let's compare in the third month, it is 68% in the 2025, 39% 2024, and 2023 it was only 26%. So we can see from the inside that in M3 the cohort retains a significantly higher, about 2.5x more, that we have improved in product market fit. Okay, the retention range is retention range have four times higher floor in 2020, while in 2023 it was 11 to 34%, and in January 2025 it was 47 to 59%. Okay, and I have seen there is a cyclic drop. You can, if you see there is a cyclic drop, you can see red hair, then a big red hair, then a big red hair, then red hair, and then customers suddenly again, then they come back. So we this is a cyclic activity of the customers, uh, and you can see this cycle was there in 2023, but this cyclical drop was there, but this has significantly stabilized in 2025. Okay, so long term retention stabilizes at 25% at across all M6 cohorts. Okay, and cohort size have increased till 2024. The people who are placing the order together, they have it has significantly increased until 2024, but after that the acquisition growth has stalled. You can see if the acquisition was growing, it would have gone like this, but the acquisition has not stalled. But the great thing is, even in the worst months of 2025, they were better than the months of 2023. Also, you can see I just didn't build a heat map or a bar chart. I wrote the insights from this to for whoever the person is reading this. So that's the difference between a dashboard and a dashboard with an insight. Now let's talk about the customer behavior segment analysis, that is how recently they bought, how frequently they bought, and how much monetary value did they generate for us. Out of all the 13,000 customers, that from the active customers, I have divided all of them into multiple segments based on their recency, frequency, and monetary behavior. So you can see the categories are loyal, lost, at risk, promising, champion, new customer, and needs. So the champion ones are those who have high recency, frequency, and monetary rank. That is, they have ordered recently, they have high frequency, and they have delivered much value. Okay, loyal ones are those who have high frequency and high monetary value, and at risk are those who have who have low recency, but they have contributed much to your brand. Okay, and new customers are obviously low frequency, low monetary, but high recency. Okay, you can also see I have made a very intelligent coloring scheme to show these are our growth customer base. And this is the scheme that runs along in this tab. So instantly you can just see here you can see the average revenue of how many customers are from loyal segment 3314. How much revenue do loyal customer segment generate? 0.54 million. From this you can see champions spend 0.78 million on average. Champions are the ones, you have less champions, but they are the ones that have spent most. Okay, you have high number of loyal customers, which is good. They have spent 0.54 million. And at risk, the second category, at risk, you have at risk 2017 customers which have spent 0.67 million. And the lost, you can see it's staggering that your growth customer base is 60% and your concerning customer base is over 40%. Okay, you have lost customers, which is the second highest category, who have actually paid 0.35 million, and you have new customers which you need to give attention to. Now, take a look at this table. It will show you top 10 customers by the total order value they have given to you. Okay, these are our top 10 customers. And one great insight from this, if you will see, is you can see a customer who has spent around 1.5 million in your company is actually at risk. Okay, this is Meghala Dio. She is actually at risk. And same from Ronit Nayak. So, what to do about it? Come here, go win them back. Start an urgent re-engagement campaign. So this is not just a dashboard that shows what's the problem. I told you in the starting only. This is what tells you what to do about the problem. You can see every segment has an action to take. Now let's talk about customer state-wise distribution. You can see Karnataka has the highest customers, while in Karnataka, 931 customers are concerning customers, and and customers are 1353. Concerning customers again that fall in these lost, at risk, needs attention. Okay, so 40% customers are concerning customers. So you can see Karnataka leads both growth and concern customers simultaneously, because obviously the largest market needs both the strongest retention effort and the most aggressive win back campaign at the same time. Now let's talk about a topic that most executives are worried about, that is return patterns and risk detection analysis. Okay, I would like to take your attention towards the return percentage. You can see the return percentage is under 10%, which is fine. But if you see the total revenue wise return percentage, it is 22.88%. That means that out of 100 million of revenue, 22 million is going back, which is concerning. So, and right next to it is the total return value by total return value first, which is subdivided into categories. Okay, here you can see electronics, clothing, sports and fitness. Okay, so after this you can see total returns versus return reason. Okay, the highest return reason is for the bad quality and damaged, which signals that before the product even reaches to the customer, it is getting damaged, which means it is a supply chain issue, not a customer behavior issue. Okay, so it we need to work there. Okay, we can see first. Let me take you towards the monthly trend. Okay, so we can see this is the 24%. So monthly, I have made a chart for comparison. Okay, and I put a 24% mark that this is the okayish return percent rate for a company. So above this are all reds, which is concerning that in the July 23 has the highest return, that is 38.2%. Okay, all other days are okayish, but still there are periods where there is high return rate. There is 27% rate, then in 24.7% rate. So there are periods. Okay, you can check about the return rate. You can see at the after your July 2025, the return rate has reduced and kept below 24%, which is very good. In the starting, there was a high return rate. Okay, so now I want to come back to this field selector. So you can see in the parameter fields selector, if I check for clothing, we have total returns 9892. Okay. Total return value is 0.46. Obviously, clothing will electronics will have, okay. Wow. So you can see I thought this would be in like thrice or four times, but still electronics have less return value than clothing, which is nice. Okay, and total returns, you can see clothing has more than electronics. You can compare here. Okay, while sports and fitness lies in between. Okay, electronics has the least, so people are keeping their electronics. Anyways, you can see the division here. Color mismatch is less and damage is high. In clothing, color mismatch is high and size issues are high. So then, and if you want to go subcategory wise, if you want to see subcategory wise, then you can do that as well. Okay, for laptops, footwear you can see, for laptops you can see, for shirts, t-shirts, etc. Now I want to bring your attention towards this chart. This is a great chart. This tells you about for a subcategory and for a return reason, how are we doing month on month. Okay, and how I have structured this chart is wherever there is a month on month 5% increase in the returns, that means the condition is worsening. If it is in between, it is stable. And if it is below, like if it decreasing by 5%, then we are actually improving our logistics systems problem or products problem. Okay, we are solving the returns problem here. So let's see one by one. You can see here is green, red, not much of an insight. Then you can see big two reds. Or if it were a third month red, then there was some problem. You can see there's a staggering rise in the returns. Then you can do something about it here. Then it was okay. Then in here in this month, you can see February 2025, the returns grew too much. Okay, for the bad quality of footwear. Then the company is manufacturing bad quality things and giving to the customers. So then we'll have to talk about the company. If we can check this for the footwear, for color mismatch or damage, you can see how deep granularity I have gone into this. Okay, for laptops you can check the month on month return rate. Okay, you can see for bad quality it was fine, it was very bad from uh, October 2024 to 1st of 2025, uh, and I think same for damaged. And for wrong items it was fine. People really, and here for size issues you can see it was actually fine. Laptops don't have like phones have size issues or whatever. You can see for footwear for the size issues were fine in this area. Okay, you can see all things by yourself. You can let's talk about something. Let's talk about trousers. How was the trousers trend? You can see in the end the trousers trend is increasing, so they are constantly sending wrong sizes to the customers. Okay, and for the bad quality, let's see, that is also worsening, or the color mismatch is also worsening. So so this is firstly, this is also synthetic data, so it has some kind of sync, across this. But if it was completely real data, then you would see big patterns in it, but this is still insightful pattern. So this is the returns section. You can see total returns. Most people will just have these two cards. That's it. But I have gone into such great depth, month over month, year on year, totals and changes, everything. So I hope you like this this Power BI dashboard. So six tabs, one pipeline, executive health check, products, revenue, cohort analysis, RFM, returns, products profitability, revenue acceleration, and customer retention, segment analysis, and their strategy, return risk detection, all connected, all interactive, all telling different aspects of the business story. This isn't just a dashboard, it's a decision making system. I built this because business without data analytics is running on luck. Smart people don't run on luck. They build their systems and run their business strategies on insights from their data. This project has both. So I hope you like my work. Okay, from data generation in Python, then loading into SQL, then Power BI, everything I have done in this project. All important links are in the description, and I love to connect with you. See you in the next one.